Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Arbuckle Tabloid cutting a promo. Facebook. You always got to find a way to screw around with something that I'm just getting into, ladies and gentlemen. Facebook. You know, just when I'm thinking that, hold on one second. Just when I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to at least get something going with the social media outlets and such like that. At least when I figure that I'm doing something right, right? And I'm like, hey, let me start connecting more with the listeners and such. Let me start doing a little bit more on this end. What do I get? Facebook and StreamYard having issues. They're beefing. So yeah, it becomes an issue. Yo, what's going on? My guy Dave, what's popping, boy? What's going on? It's always something with these social media links and all that, guys. Honestly, if yeah, what's going on, my guy? Shout out to my boy Ray. My boy Ray was on the show the past week. He had a match yesterday. Well, technically he didn't, but let's just say he came out of it unscathed. Thankfully, we don't have to send him flowers anywhere. Shout out to the boy. Guys, if you want to comment to the subject matter which I'll be talking about today, which is the WWE draft, and I'm going to be doing some house cleaning as well. Subscribe to the YouTube page, watch it on YouTube, and I get to see the comments easier that way because Facebook is just I have to go through the phone and then it's back. It's just it's utterly ridiculous. Hopefully, Facebook and StreamYard comes to a understanding and they're able to cover their bases and such like that. It's just ridiculous. So shout out to our boy Joyce's boy. He's in the building. So covering the draft last night. I shout out to the boys at the Ring Fanatics who was on the other night. Give those gentlemen some love. The Ring Fanatics, the podcast. Homework and I were on that podcast the other night, and we were discussing the draft before it occurred, and I was kind of out of the loop of what was going on with it. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. Didn't have any real predictions. Didn't have any real ideas of what was supposed to happen or occur. But once I was able to see what was unfolding on the draft, starting on SmackDown, that they took the wrestlers and put them in a pool, and that's where you made your selections. At I was like, okay, now I'm getting a little feeling vibe for this. I'm getting an understanding for this. A lot of people were not happy with the first night. A lot of people were they were pretty much confused, conflicted, or just uh, upset that nobody really made any moves. There weren't any big changes that occurred. But I started to piece by piece and start to understand that, okay, that wasn't going to happen. I had mentioned this during the podcast with the Ring Fanatics. I said I don't see a lot of movement happening with the draft as of yet. It's kind of tough to put together a draft with storylines fresh off. I mean, I know they've been doing drafts for years, but with this new era in a way that we still have strong storylines going about, let's say with the bloodline, with Cody, certain individuals that are in place, I felt as though that you weren't going to see a lot of movement happening, and people were believing that we were going to see Seth jump to SmackDown. I kind of believed that it was going to happen too. Um, we also believed that we were going to see these surprise signings and such. People thought that there was a Jacob Fatu sighting that was going to happen, and I'm like, that's not going to happen yet. But I thought that with the pool, you would want to sit there and protect the guys that you want to protect. And I figured that that would be the easiest way to at least hold the storylines down. Good looking out, my boy Dave. Shout out to you, bro. What up, my brother? I got my subscription. Thank you, sir. It's just ridiculous. Facebook and StreamYard's beef. I don't know what the hell's going on. I gotta go through one avenue to get to another. This way, I had the back door to get off Facebook. It's nonsense. But in any case, so the biggest, I guess, surprise we were seeing were the NXT signings. Carmelo wasn't so much of a big thing. They were already prepping him for the main event, to make the main shows. We had already seen him down the line get there. The other one that was a big signing was Kiara James. I was shocked by that. I would have thought maybe Blair Davenport, Gigi Dolan, maybe they would get the call up. They've been down there for some time, but I guess Kiara James has the look that they're going for right now that they want on the main roster. So that was cool. But as for others jumping ship, going to other well, Baron Corbin as well got a call. Um, I didn't, like I said, didn't really see nothing that really jumped out at me. Yeah, it's just terrible. That's why you're a better man, a better man than me. I got no patience for that. Well, Dave, I had to look at it like when we played sports, and when we were picking guys to get on to play on your team, you already knew a certain dude that you want on your team. And you've always played better with certain guys when we were picking squads, like when you were captain of your team. So you automatically knew who you were going to get. So I kind of get that aspect, but at the same time, if you were ready to poach from the other company, I guess if they would have tactically had said that they're playing it safe, maybe I would have gotten that, but that wasn't the case. Um, Interesting to see what will occur come Monday. We saw that after SmackDown went off, that there were other draft picks that happened, and hopefully we can see something else on the lighter. I would like to see NXT make some drafts. I also want to see trades. I would actually like to see them trade individuals that aren't in the pool, trade them to the next show so they can get an extra draft pick or something like that. I don't know how that play out. I don't know how it would occur, and it might be going a little bit too far. But I would like to see just one instance where that would occur. Maybe they get one trade per night, or I guess until said deadline, until I think it's May 5th after Backlash, where the the rosters are locked in. You see, I can't say better, But I had an alternate measure and exercise to use for the draft. I would have gone with somewhat of the pool, but it would have been more in line to where so you have both shows, and I've explained this before. So, for example, each roster per round puts up uh, a certain number of individuals in their pool. So, for instance, SmackDown puts up 3, and Raw puts up 5 because their roster is bigger because of their 3-hour show. What I would do is, let's say, SmackDown puts up 3, so the 3 would be, let's say, KO, AJ, and LA Knight. Out of those 3, Raw has to take 1, and Raw would do the same on the other end. And anybody who is not, you can't put up the same individuals again. Once you put them up, that's it. They're out of the eligibility. So you do that round by round until you get to the closing of the draft. I think it makes it a little bit more fun, a little bit more easier to dance around and play with. I'm assuming that it would be a little bit more of a tangent and more of a back and forth to see, but I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. As long as I'm not last, I'm Mr. aka Mr. Irrelevant. Hey, look what happened to a couple of guys out there already. We already saw how that went with Tom Brady and Brock Purdy. It's not a bad thing. The old bloodline and the new bloodline. Honestly, there's a lot of people who are not happy with what's going on with the new angle with the bloodline. Me, I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting to see how this builds up, the progression. I'm glad that they're giving Solo Sokoa more of an outlet as as a talent. Doesn't have to do much talking, just be effective. And there's still the fog in the air of who's the tribal chief. And it seems as though that everything is pacing. Just like I saw somebody complaining about now that Cody finished the story, what's next? Well, that's yeah, that's what's fun about this. The possibilities. What's next? We're still we got to throw people at Cody. Like right now, you threw AJ at Cody. This is the first time that these two are face off against each other. They have somewhat of a history. He spoke. AJ spoke about how he had a connection with his dad, and also there is that that history in Japan that they never linked up. AJ was gone. Cody stepped in. They both were in Bullet Club. So there is story there. If you could play it properly, if you could play it right. Uh I see that there's the ability and the possibility to expand on that. We can make something go along with it. We can uh, build with Cody down the line. Will the crowd turn on him? Will the fans turn on him? Of course. We've seen it all the time. It's inevitable. I'm not. I don't see any problems with that. But I believe that down the line you will see something progressing with Cody and his white hot babyface look. So as for the draft, going back to that, we're gonna see brother AJ. What's going on, brother? Yeah. We will see some form of possibilities with Raw. I don't see a lot of movement there either, unless it's tag team wise. Um, but other than that, or maybe a call up to the main roster. Shout out to Homework Mike. He made a mention that he believed that Gallus is gonna get a call up. I could see that. Um I don't think they're gonna move up Chase U. I think Chase U is perfect where they are. They're good right there. At the same time, NXT is also trying to get their own foot planted firmly as their third show. And shout out to them. Their ratings have been going up slowly but surely. Listen, they were only 20,000 away from AEW's Dynamite this past week. What can you say about that, man? Like that's a lot telling. Guys, once again, if you want to comment on the shit or make comments on the show, just go to the YouTube or to the X Twitter page, but you go to YouTube because I'm trying to get those numbers up. Yeah, I want to get those subs up over there. Go to YouTube, and if you want to make comments, I can be able to see it here because, like I mentioned, shit, man, Facebook and StreamYard gotta get it together. Gotta get it together. So just quickly, just want to make sure we do some housekeeping here. I'm gonna run into some wrestling rundown as well. So I might as well just play some music, right? Let me just go. It's Wrestling Rundown with Jay Fancy. Live
Turnbuckle Tabloid.
As you can see, I'm wearing my New York Knicks jersey. I'm not a Knicks fan. I haven't been a Knicks fan since like the 20s, like the early 2000s. Like this is the 20s. Like yeah, when you pass around the round ball, make sure you put it in the basket in the peach tree. Put it in the peach bucket and get it up there. No, I haven't been a Knicks fan since like the early 2000s, maybe 1999. They always break my heart, and I just stop being a Knicks fan. But I'm a New Yorker. Support the team. Let them do their thing. Hopefully they get further down the line in the playoffs to see they're looking really good. So show some love. That's what I'm doing here. Plus, it's a cool jersey. Any case, wrestling rundown and just doing some quick housekeeping. As always, I'm the Norm McDonald of this segment, and yeah, let's see. So weekend updates, wrestling rundown. So TNA is possibly looking into bringing back Tessa Blanchard. Really? If you guys don't know, Tessa Blanchard has been out of wrestling for some time. She has been doing some wrestling, as reported, in Mexico, but due to some cancer culture type allegations, Tessa Blanchard has just persona non grata in the States. Apparently TNA has some beliefs that piss mist that was around for Tessa has been going away, so there's possibilities of having a return to TNA. I don't think it's more along the lines of the fan base. I think the fan base would take it or leave it, especially if you're gonna bring her in with the hot heat. I can see that's possible, but I also have to say that I don't know if the locker room is going to appreciate that. It's not she left she left a lot of bodies in the back that would not be pleased to see her return. So we shall see how that plays out. Just quickly about the WWE releases. I just found it odd that a lot of their releases were of a certain cultural persuasion and race. A lot of Asians that were released. Indushir. The only one that wasn't of that culture was Cameron Grimes. People were surprised that Cameron Grimes got released, and I'm like, I'm not. They really didn't have much for him. I understood it. I get it. And I'm hoping that many of those they end up flourishing and going to certain companies who could benefit from them really right now is TNA. I believe TNA really would be able to benefit from mostly all of them. I believe they make logical sense to go there. So good luck to them. And plus, I'll see you at House of Glory, guys. Logan Paul and Ronda Rousey's comments about him. Rousey made comments stating, I don't think they were really on the negative tip, but they're saying that they give Logan Paul more leeway when it comes to him and his ring work. And I'm like, why not? Especially early on when he was just getting his toe in the pond of WWE. I just think that yeah, he was getting, but now that he's a little bit more comfortable with what's going on and able to put the work in, they're gonna take the leash off of him and let him rock. So I don't see anything wrong with that. Broken Matt Hardy returns to TNA. His contract was done with AEW. Now he makes it pop up at TNA's last event, and he wants to make it clear, guys, he's not under contract. He has no contracts with anybody. He's good. So WWE, if you still want him, give him a call. I think it'd be. I think it's best. Let them finish out their career. WWE. That's where they started at when they were teenagers. Let them go out and go into the Hall of Fame. Let's close it out there. What's next for Hook? There are those who are talking in the wrestling world that there's possibilities of him popping up at maybe WWE down the line. Maybe. He's still young. He's very young. And he has a skill set right now. Although he is in a key storyline with Jericho, I guess, if you want to call it that. There is an upside to him. He definitely has to look. There's actually a following for him as well. I think that there's something there. I'm not quite sure whether he would be a mic work guy, but he's one of those that you could polish up. He's a rough stone that you can polish up. So we could see. Congratulations to Finn Balor signing a new contract with WWE. There were those who were speculating that he's going to be done with them and probably branch out and go elsewhere. Nope, he's comfortable. And this is what you guys don't understand about a lot of wrestlers in the business. The money's good. The money's real good. And when you're comfortable and you got a nice schedule and you're liked within the business, you can't always. It's not always about winning championships. It's not always about walking around with the gold. It's all about the setting, what they have going on for you, what's happening. And I think that Finn is that guy. He's settled in. He's good. He found his placehold, and he's happy to be where he's at. We just recently heard that Damian Priest signed an extension to his contract as well. So we're going to start seeing that little by little as well. There's also speculation and talks that many individuals on the WWE roster are not ready to jump ship to go to AEW. They're conflicted with the stories that they're hearing, and those who may be already there, who were from the WWE prior, maybe trickling back and letting them know, don't come here. So, we'll see. Speaking of AEW, Goldberg has recently released, spoken on a podcast recently and discussed the fact that AEW reached out to him, but he refused because they're a bit cheesy. Goldberg didn't want to lose, and the money wasn't right for him. Let's just keep it a buck. That's all it was. Next up, 2K banning of creators. So this past week we saw that top creators on the 2K WWE 2K platform, one especially known as What's the Status, was banned for his modding and such. As of today, the ban was lifted on What's the Status. WWE Games and What's the Status came to an agreement, and it seems as though that he will be back on. Hey, WWE Games 2K. Here's an idea, just between you and I. Here's an idea. Hire them. They're actually really good at what they do. Hire them. Yeah. I'm a fan of modding. I believe that modding should be done in games, as long as it's not showing indecent and improper images and such, and you're continuing the model of what the game is based on. On PC, the modding is exceptional. The last great WWE game that came out for PC was 2K19, and it had a fantastic run on PC. And the modding world, the community there was amazing. So I believe that they should expand a little bit more, let them play around with it, and especially when you see the mods that they do with these images and these characters and such, it's phenomenal. I believe the one thing that probably held him back or probably hurt him was the fact that he was creating female wrestlers to fight males, and they were able to get bloody and stuff like that. I think that might have been the thing. But what kills me at the same time is you'll ban him for that, but you won't take down the images of boobs and ass and all that stuff when you go to the image creator scene. I just click on the first page and it's a naked woman there. Listen, I'm not one to say that I'm opposed to a naked woman. Hell, I love me a naked woman. But come on, guys, you got kids on there. Shit, we gotta monetize that shit. We gotta monitor it. That's ridiculous. Next up, Grizzled Young Veterans make their AEW debut tonight on Collision. Shout out to them. I'm hoping they do well. They were a popular team on NXT when they were there. It's unfortunate that how they use them later on down the line in NXT, but very good tag team, and hopefully they do well there in the near future. Next up, Max Caster is bad. Recently, Max Caster went on his Twitter or his X. Shout out to you people who are watching me on X right now. You guys are awesome. And mentioned that he was suspended. Someone asked him where is he at? Suspended. Seems as though that he was suspended due to some explicit lines in which he used during AEW Dynasty, cutting a promo against the Bang Bang Club. When I heard it, I was like, oh, they're letting him do that? Okay, cool. But as per the would that be a reason why we suspend him? I don't know. I they've been letting him get away with a lot of other stuff, so why would that be the one that causes a rift with him? I don't know. We shall see. It's unfortunate as well because Max lost his father this past few months ago. I believe it was a few months ago, and I know he's been going through a rough time, and hopefully that's not what's being at play here. But yeah, it's hopefully we see a turnaround for him. Next up, Dominic Mysterio is to undergo surgery. It seems as though that he will be seeing the knife in the next, I believe, week or so. Apparently, he's supposed to be getting Tommy John surgery. That's a killer right there for those people who understand baseball and such. Tommy John surgery used to be almost a career ender, and until the person that they did it, they named it after Tommy John, where it's a surgical condition for the elbow. A lot of pitchers now, because it's usually a pitcher's injuries, mostly for them, they end up doing it earlier in their careers, and it gives them longevity. So especially now in WWE, we're seeing that they're able to crank out their fallen wrestlers out faster. They have a great medical facility and faculty that they go to, especially the doctors down in Alabama. They do a great job with them there. So to Dominic Mysterio, speedy recovery. But at the same time, they're not going to take him off TV because he draws too much heat. Seriously. And two more before I get to the main event. Guys are watching Dark Side of the Ring. Dark Side of the Ring has actually been I thought they would be running thin with what's going on in the business, but apparently not. Seems as though that the latest episodes that I've been watching has been with what I saw recently with Chris Adams, Sensational Sherry. Just saw the one with Harley Race. Damn, Harley was a fucking he was a tyrant. Shit. I met that man one time. He was in a wheelchair. I was at WrestleMania doing the whole spiel. He was sitting in his wheelchair. He just finished his signing. And I yelled out to him, "Hey Harley, what's going on?" And he waves me over and I'm going to approach him, and one of his handlers was like, "No. And he's like, no. And I went and I shook his hand. And boy, at that age and at his health, the man still had a handshake like a vice grip. It was shocking, but yet thrilling to know that that man was still in that shape. He was known as a man's man. So yeah, it's interesting that Dark Side of the Ring still has they still cranking out these episodes. I mean, shit, how many stories do they have? Congratulations to Ricochet for becoming the WWE's new Speed Champion. The title was bestowed to him last night after recording on SmackDown, and I didn't get to see what the belt looks like though. I have to take a look at that. Speed is a show that's done on X, so on Twitter. So if it's usually done on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. So you will be seeing a newly crowned Ricochet on Twitter X Speed. And before we close out, we're going to the main event. So I wanted to I just wanted to touch up on the recent occurrences that's been going on with Tony Khan and in AEW. This is it's not shocking to me. Just I would like to say that. One second. I'll get to you, Tony, in a minute. So I have to say, after the incident actions that occurred this past week on Dynamite, we did see that, you know, Jack Perry makes his return, and now that what do you mean that he turns, punches Tony Khan in the gut. I was like, okay. By the way, Tony took the funniest bump ever on that shit. That was hilarious. And the elites, the EVPs, they turn on Tony, hit him with the TK driver and such. I was like, you know what? Okay. I'm cool with that. At least they're trying. At least they're trying to do something, right? But then we get this.
You know, AEW, we've been doing this for 5 years. We are the most successful sports startup since the AFL pre-merger. There has not been a challenger brand that has gained as much market share as AEW in many, many, many years. We are like the Pepsi of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And we're up against a really evil juggernaut. WWE is our competitor. That's who we're facing. AEW, like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. WWE's like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. And I'm really proud.
I mean, what?
All right. I think,
And
What?
all right, Tony, hold on, real quick. What's
What?
the prognosis? What are the doctors?
What?
well,
Dude, like, what a comparison. Pepsi Coke, that's the easy layup right there, right? That's the easy layup. But Pepsi Harvey Weinstein? I get it. You're trying to get clicks. You're trying to get some kind of media attention. I understand that. But dude, that's a very loaded fucking answer that you gave to those constituents there on the NFL Network, who you could tell right there they were uncomfortable with that response. Fine. Vince is a dirty old man. We know it. We know that they're doing creep shit. And that's the allegations that's there. At the same time, you know, whoever else could be under that umbrella, it's been, most likely it's John Laurinaitis. But to say that the whole company was a Harvey Weinstein company, if that were true, no one would work there. No one would work there. And this is what I'm saying. Like someone needs to peel him away from certain events, social medias, microphones. It's outrageous for you to make that comparison. It is. It is such a far reach. I mean, and you could tell like he'd been wanting to use that for such a long time. Like he was waiting for the opportunity to make that statement because he was probably back there like pitching it and working it with the guys and stuff. The people in the locker room was like, that the WWE is the Harvey Weinstein of the wrestling universe, right? Right, that works, right? No. Somebody take him away. By the way, like I said, at least he's trying. He's working the gimmick. He's living the gimmick right now. At least he's trying. But I'm still, Ed, what's going on, boy? My boy Edwin Torres checking in. I feel as though that you're really doing too much right now, way too much. Remember, this is the guy who once said that you're not gonna see me on TV taking bombs, taking spots, doing angles, whatever. And look what happens. Look, like I said, I give them credit. They're trying. They are trying. They're not just being lame ducks or trying to work their way just through it and just survive through it. They're trying. Hell, it was just recently announced that TNA only got 500,000. 500,000. Excuse me, 500 pay-per-view buys. Shit, that's crazy, and it was actually a pretty good event too. But jeez, but even still, like, how? I'm kind of, that's scary how that company survives shit. But even with that occurring, they still are just they're still struggling to keep the audience that they have in, and I think slowly but surely it's dying away. Just because of these instances, we saw it in the past when WCW went and started throwing shots at WWE. It was their demise. Same could be said for when TNA went head to head with WWE when they went and run Mondays against them and throw shots. It didn't help. So I think maybe they should just start moving away from that. Maybe they should start just focusing on them, bringing up their stars, bringing up their talent, be more productive in storylines. And by the way, the utter disrespect of having a great story with Swerve Strickland. And if you want to put the tag on it, if you want to make it the way your first African-American champion, you wanted to be progressive, you wanted to be all out front and what people say woke or whatever bullshit. He's a fucking champ. He's a great wrestler and he's a talent. You did this, and even just not even the aspect of him being an African-American wrestler, just for the story itself for him, where he's come from, where he began. You didn't give him his flowers and give him just due to celebrate that and have him cut a promo and let the crowd take him in. No, you open the show with the EVPs and you have him in a match with Kyle Fletcher. Not to take anything away from Kyle Fletcher because he's a good wrestler, but really, this is what you did for him? Nah, that's utter disrespect. And don't give me no bullshit that we're gonna have a big celebration on Collision because nobody's watching it. It's horseshit. And this is what I'm saying. For all those who are having this, yay, AEW can do no wrong. Listen, there's shit on both sides of everybody's fence. Everybody has fertilizer or fucking dog shit on their fence. So don't give me don't give me that nonsense that everything's all over. Oh, but if WWE does it, they get shit too. I shit on them too. I call them out for their bullshit as well. Just like anybody else, I call out on their bullshit. Tony, do better. Stay the fuck away. Use that neck brace and just stay the fuck away. Matter of fact, take the neck brace, put up a little bit higher, and cover your mouth. Shut the. All right, guys, gonna wrap it up here on this end. Much more to talk about possibly later on down the line. And oops, they won't do that. All right, guys. Thanks again for chiming in, checking in. I'm, like I said, doing a lot more for the social medias, and I'm trying to check out for you guys here. Pardon me. Be a part of all the social media outlets out there. Get a part of the YouTube. Get a part of the Facebook pages, the group, and the page itself. Follow us on X. Follow us on Twitch. I saw some viewers on Twitch as well. Thank you guys for being on there as well. And more to talk about, guys. I'm gonna go get me a beer. All right. Check you guys in a sec.